The 23rd of August 2013. I want you people to listen. I was not traveling in the night. I want Nigerians to know the danger that we are into. I was not traveling in the wee hours of the morning. I left Benin past 2 p.m. in the afternoon baking sun. On my way to my town, Ivukwe, and to see some friends, and having just lost the Ukpidroma of the Ozekome family, Alhaji Yakubu Dik Abu Ozekome. I said I must go and commiserate with my family. I also wanted to, the following day on Saturday, to attend an interview of Knights of Semulumba. By the way, Knights of Semulumba, God bless you. Knights of St. John, God bless you. I'm told all you did, Knights of Semulumba, the candle-lit processions. Indeed, I was talking to one brother, Anabui, after speaking to brother Dakpokpo, after speaking to the GK, as to how to go to Marymount Secondary School, Agbo, at 10 a.m. on Saturday, to go for the interview for promotion to 3rd degree. I was still on the phone when I ran into the kidnappers. It was some minutes past 3, I will not know the time exactly. I had wanted to live there and attend a French chieftaincy title in Delta State, after which I was to proceed to Calabar for the Nigerian Bar Association annual general meeting. I had already paid my registration fee, and in fact, my hotel had already been booked. But all these were not to come to pass because of the parlous security situation of Nigeria that has made Nigeria very, very unsafe for both its citizens and investors. We ran into a vehicle had already been used to block the road. And my driver said, God bless my driver, I didn't mention his name, Chinedu. He went through all the ordeal with me. Young man, I adopt you as my son. God bless you. He's in Benin now. He said, Oga, people like saying armed robbers. Then I said, then turn the car, reverse. As he put it on reverse, a gun was on my head. Automatic weapon. And they said, don't move. If you move an inch, we blast you. I told Chinedu, don't move. They dragged me out of the car. Dragged Chinedu out of the car. Shot the tire of the vehicle. Put Chinedu in the boot of the car. And put me inside the car. Then met another driver inside. They said if we dare look up, they will kill us. We close our eyes. And we were pressed to the ground inside the car. As we were pressed down, I heard them say, oh, police, 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 police. Then one of them said, no retreat, no surrender, let's meet them. Because I couldn't look up, apparently, they moved out of the car. And I could hear guns booming. It was a staccato of bullets raining. Here comes Armageddon. It was a war situation. And they were firing. And as they were firing, the car was moving. They were telling them advance, advance a little. Then I heard them shout again, another vehicle, shoot. Then they started another round of. And then I heard them say, oh, we killed some of them. We killed some of them. Then tomorrow now, they will come out and lie and say some of us were killed or injured, even though none of us have been injured. I heard them saying that. Ladies and gentlemen, the good news that we have been delivered safe and unhurt and unharmed and in one piece. The bad news that I was not profiled, we were never profiled or targeted. Meaning that they merely operated randomly. It is bad news because it could have been any person, any other person. Bad news because it was when we were in the car with eyes closed that they started preliminary questions. What is your name? I said, Chief Michael Zekome, SAM. They set my pocket, took out the complimentary cards and other possession. I heard the card, I said, what is your full name? I said, my full name is Chief Michael Zekome, SAM. Constitutional lawyer, human rights activist, Akpakpa Bigibiadola. They said yes. They said yes, you're a man of truth. That's what is written on your card. I didn't even know they were holding my card. They said, so you're a lawyer? I said, yes, sir. How long have you practiced? I said, 32 years. I said, well, even if you tell us lies, by tomorrow, we know who you are. Do you know what? We always know who you are when we capture, when we kidnap people through the press. So even if you lie, we are going to know who you are tomorrow. That is how we were driven for about 4.5 hours. Through rough roads, through highways, you could feel it on the body that you are on a highway. You could feel it on the body that you are on a rocky path. You could feel it on the body that you are in a swamp. You could feel it on the body that you are inside a forest, that you are on a footpath that is not tarred. About 4.5 hours. Before they dumped us in a small, uncompleted building, far away from civilization. Far away. And it was 24 hours guard, security guard. Fellow Nigerians, we are not talking of toy carrying kidnappers. They told me that they have cell units across Nigeria. They reminded me, didn't you see that a footballer's father was captured in Jos and taken to Kano? Didn't you hear of the white people, white men who were killed in Brenikebi and Bauchi and Kano? Didn't you hear of the deputy governor of Anambra State that was executed? They started mentioning them. That they are everywhere. So I asked them, how did you know me then? Why did you come for me? They said, we didn't know you. We just operated. And you happen to have run into us. And that when they started reading of me, they said, we believe that God allowed us to catch you for a purpose. To draw attention to the world, to draw national and international attention to this issue of kidnapping. They were even advising me that I should not blame God, I should glorify God. That the things they have been reading of me, about me, shows that attention is being drawn to this issue of kidnapping. Then, of course, all of them are always hooded and masked, so you cannot know or recognize anybody. Because even though they are hooded and masked, even when they are talking to you, whether in the afternoon or in the night, you must still close your eyes. If you don't close your eyes, you'll be in trouble. The death sentence was always hanging on us 24 hours a day. The experience was one of horrendous tragedy. It was horrific, to put it mildly. We were psychologically tortured. We were mentally, excruciatingly tortured. We suffered from psychical trauma. It was spiritually unnerving. It was physically debilitating. It was the nearest thing to death on earth. Fellow countrymen, if hell is worse than that, let us all pray that we will never go to hell. So the bad news is that any Nigerian in any place, on any way, whether highway, footpath, could be a victim. The bad news is that in our unit where we were captured and detained, There were also others. There was a woman with her 2 small sons and a little girl, daughter, and a driver. There were 2 other women and their driver. We were about 13 in all. So it showed that when they strike, they do not really care who you are. But the important thing is that they have struck and they know that you must have people out there that they can deal with. That is the danger. That is why I'm going to make some suggestions here to the federal government of Nigeria. That we have in our hands a national calamity. We have in our hands a clear and present danger. We have in our hand a situation of monumental and gargantuan proportion. A situation that calls for urgent national rethinking. A situation that calls for presidential intervention. Not today, not tomorrow, not next week, as soon as yesterday, as urgent as yesterday. Let no one deceive themselves that we are dealing with a little phenomenon. Let no one fool himself or herself that we are dealing with toy gun carrying kidnappers. They told us that they cannot be caught with by any security outfit because their phones cannot be tracked. Their phones cannot be tracked. We asked them, why can't your phones be tracked? They said because, they said, can you see that we don't allow you to talk every day? Can you tell those people to shut up? They said, can you see that we only allow you to talk once in 3 days? I said, yes, sir. They said that is because before they grant us any opportunity to talk, they have to make special preparation. That where we are, for example, or where we were, that before they speak to me, the person who is going to speak to me, we have to travel across about 4 or 5 states outside where we were detained. And then the person will be on a highway and make the call. When he makes the call to their person, then they will now connect the person that represents me that they are talking with. They told me on one occasion that they are aware that some security agents went to Port Harcourt or where reside to arrest innocent people. That they use all those ones as decoy. That their calls do not originate from where their victims are detained. That they can't be so stupid. Ladies and gentlemen, we are dealing with very well-read people, graduates, that speak impeccable English. Very well-read graduates that talk philosophy. That when they are hooded, they discuss national issues with you. Problems of the country. Why they say they are in the forest, in the jungles. Why they are fighting against. What they are fighting against. They complain that the entire wealth of the nation has been cornered by less than 1% of Nigerians, 170 million people. And that the vast majority of Nigerians are suffering, eating from dustbins, in abject penury and squalor. One of them said he has been a graduate for 6 years. He has no job. That if he had a job of even 50,000 naira in a month, why will he carry guns to a highway? They try to justify what they do so as to have some clean conscience. One of them said he had a brother who graduated 16 years ago. He had no job. That they have to fend for them, that when they make money, they also, like Robin Hood, spread the money to help other people. And then I told them, but I'm also one of you, one of the marginalized from what you say you are reading in the papers. I don't have money. I've fought for the masses of this country all my life. I've never done any other thing. They said, well, we have captured you. The problem is that you are in our net. Unfortunately, we didn't know your name before now. Had we known your name, when we captured you, we will call other cells. Once they say yes, we identified, we would have dropped you somewhere. Fellow Nigerians, that is the danger. The problem knows no gender. It knows no religion. It knows no class. It knows no nationality. It knows no religion. It knows no status. Whether you are commoner or noble, whether you are rich or wealthy, whether you are a politician, an entrepreneur, businessman, or professional, whether you are a farmer or a market woman, whether you are a housewife or a school child. The problem is one of complexity. Its plenitude unfathomable. Its amplitude frightening. Its extent elephantine and gargantuan. That is the kind of problem that we are dealing with. God bless Nigeria. Now, I want to say that I believe that the federal government should do certain things as a matter of extreme urgency. It is not because I was kidnapped, because I was abducted. Ironically, and they told me that all they have been reading of me is what I've stood for. I'm going to make certain recommendations to the federal government of Nigeria and all the state governments to bring us all of us out of this national calamity, this Golgotha in this world, this imminent bloodbath, because they are threatening that 2015 is when they will show their true colors. Their politicians have been using them. Their politicians across Nigeria buy guns for them, and they use them. And after politics, after elections, they are done. They ask me, what do you expect us to do with the guns? They say they are ready for the politicians this time, that we should send a clear message. As a matter of extreme urgency, I want the federal government to immediately, as urgent as yesterday, grant amnesty to all kidnappers and institute an amnesty program for them to come out of the jungles, remove their hoods and masks, drop their guns, give their guns, deliver up their guns to the government, and come to a round-table conference, a round-table meeting. They said some of them, some of them are remnants of those that they feel justice has not been done to. We ask them, of course, always with head bowed like this, because you dare not look up. When they are coming, you either do like this, or you turn and face your back. We ask them, if this amnesty program comes, can you come out? He said if they are assured that they will not be arrested or killed, that they will drop their guns, they will send their representatives. Once they are assured that after all, the Niger Delta militants, when their problems came, they also removed their hood and mask and came forward. I therefore call upon the federal government of Nigeria to institute an amnesty program for this very volatile, very angry, very, very desperate youth of Nigeria who believe, rightly or wrongly, that they have been shortchanged by the nation, which is why they said they have taken up arms. One of them analyzed the situation, and I was shocked at his analytical prowess. He must be either a graduate of philosophy or political science or history. He said, listen, son. I said, sir. He said, don't call us sir. We are your sons, we are your children. He said, listen, son, the reason we are so soft on you, we discovered that you have been fighting for the masses. He said, you are aware that they have been predicting that Nigeria will break up in 2015. I said, yes, I'm aware. He said, no, it may not be that Nigeria will break up as a corporate entity, as one. But that breakup could be unit by unit. That when armed gangs like them have been able to effectively take over some segments of the society, they said that is a breakup of those units. That it is not as if Nigeria will break up in one day. I was shocked at this analysis because my mind had never gone there. Amnesty program, Mr. President, sir. Mr. Senate President, sir. Mr. Speaker, sir. House of Representatives. Mr. 36 Governor, sir. Mr. Honorable Minister, FCT, sir. Go back to the drawing board. Think of amnesty program for this angry youth to make Nigeria safe for all of us.
Happy birthday to you.
Why is the cake a lasagna?
Because cheese is life.
Cheese lovers get it. Kraft natural cheese. Crafted for joy.
I want to suggest that the federal government should immediately declare a state of emergency on youth unemployment, lack of capacity building, on educational decay, on infrastructural decay that give birth to crime, that become the godfathers of Boko Haram, of militancy, of kidnapping, of armed robbery. They should declare a national state of emergency on these areas that I've mentioned. Another state of emergency. The federal government should immediately declare a state of emergency on insecurity in Nigeria that makes the Nigerian security situation so perilous that whether in the morning, whether in the afternoon, whether in the night, whether in our homes, whether in the marketplace, whether in our workplaces, whether on the air, whether on the sea, whether on the road, that makes all of us unsafe. Declare a state of emergency on national insecurity. Having declared this state of emergency, the federal government should do the next thing, and that is calling on the National Assembly. You are still amending the Constitution. You have the power to so amend it under Section 9 of the 1999 Constitution. Alter the Constitution to bring about state police. We need state police. The argument is now asinine, primordial, and spent. Oh, that state police, regional police were used in those days wrongly, therefore we cannot have state police. We need neighborhood policing. We need local government policing. We need city policing. We need village policing. We need kindred family policing. Policy that involves inhabitants and indigenous of those particular places. We must begin to have a police system as we have it in the United States of America, where you have the FBI, the Federal Bureau of Investigation. You have the CIA, the Central Intelligence Agency. Then every of the 50 states in America has its own police force. In fact, every state has its own police force. Every city, like Los Angeles Police Department, has its own police, like New York Police Department. Every city has its own police. Then every county council, what we call local governments in Nigeria, has its own police force. Even higher institutions like universities many of which are called colleges in America. They have campus policing. What happens when a crime is committed? Say in the state of Georgia, Atlanta, Georgia, which is 6 hours by air to California, to Los Angeles in California. America is so big that flying from Georgia to California, you are in the air for 6 hours, which is like going from here to London. Of course, you know Texas as a state is bigger than Nigeria. California as a state is bigger than Nigeria. When a crime is committed in one state, they immediately send the alert. All the states are alerted, red alert, and the criminals will be caught in no time. You will see helicopters already going to waylay the criminals in another state. So, federal government, sirs, Mr. Speaker, sir, Senate President, sir, tinker with the Constitution, alter the Constitution for the benefit of Nigerians and Nigerians yet unborn by creating state police. Sections 214 and 215 of the Constitution are now moribund. They are anachronistic, because today we have Minister of Police Affairs. What are his duties? Then you have Inspector General of Police. Then you have DIGs. Then you have AIGs. Then you have Commissioners of Police. Then you have Divisional Police Officers. When a crime is committed in a state, do you know what the Constitution says? The Constitution says, even though the governor of a state is the chief security officer of his state, he cannot give instruction to the Commissioner of Police. The Constitution says the Commissioner of Police must take instructions from the Inspector General of Police. The Inspector General of Police, on his own part, will take instructions from the Minister of Police Affairs, who himself may take instruction from Mr. President, because Mr. President is put at the apex. This is too behemoth, too elephantine, too unwieldy, too much of red tapeism. We need a lean police force instead.